Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I pray you're doing well and welcome to our series, Islamic Morals, Manners and Etiquettes, courtesy of the New Muslim Academy. In today's episode, we want to talk about the etiquette of visiting somebody, and you visited them and you knocked their door and you followed the lessons that we've shared in a previous episode about the etiquettes of how to knock a person's door and how many times to knock their door, and so on and so forth. And they heard you. And in this instance, they didn't tell you to go away. They asked, who's at the door? How should you respond? How should you respond? Islam teaches us this as well. And I cannot say it enough. Islam isn't just a religion. It's an entire way of life. You know, it's present in our manners. And our manners and ways manifest Islam. Yeah. So the Messenger taught us this as well. Even though he had so many massive, big matters to teach us about, he also taught us about how to engage with a person we visit when they call out and ask, who's at the door? So, what does Islam say? Is it okay for us to say me or to say I? No. Islam says you should respond in a manner that makes it known to the caller. It shouldn't be, for example, they say, who's at the door? And you say me. And then they say, well, who's me? Say, it's I. As if, royalty, right? Say, well, who's I? Anyone could be I. Who's at the door? So we shouldn't engage and interact with the owner of the space in this manner. Rather, we should make them understand who's on the other side of the door in the easiest, most palatable, shortest way possible. And that's by calling out your name, by saying it's so and so, right? It's Sajid at the door. For example, it's Mary at the door, it's John at the door, and so on and so forth. Now, if we just take this a step further, let's say there's more than one John, there's more than one Sajid, there's more than one Yusuf, there's more than one Mary. Is it enough to just say Mary? And then the person on the other side says, hold on, which Mary? Yeah. So Islam says, again, continuing on this idea of not saying I, not being meaning conspicuous with who you are. When you answer and you give your name, make sure it's an answer that is understood. So if there's more than one John, more than one Mary, one then more Yusuf, one then more Muhammad, one then more Sajid, say it's Sajid, your neighbor, for example, or it's Mary from this address, for example, or it is Yusuf, the brother-in-law of so and so, for example. So this is what Islam teaches us in terms of the etiquettes of how to respond to the question after we visit someone and they seek clarity who is at the door. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.